One of the best uses of the iPad is for viewing instrument plates, also known as instrument terminal procedures, or some people will call them letdown plates. In the US, instrument plates come from two primary publishers, the FAA or Jeppesen. FAA plates seem to have a branding issue, so every 5 years they tend to change the name. NOAA plates, NACO plates, or more recently they've even gone to Aeronav plates. Since we can't keep up with the changes, we're simply going to call them FAA plates. And the government makes them readily available, so almost all iPad app vendors include subscriptions to the FAA plates. But these plates can be a bit cumbersome to use. For decades, Jeppesen has been publishing their own versions of instrument procedures, not only in the US, but in countries around the world, and most commercial operations provide jet plates to their pilots. For now, on the iPad, they are only available in Jeppesen apps, and you can also subscribe to jet plates on many multifunction displays. But the reason their plates remain so popular is that they are much easier to use, and let's show you some examples. Here is the ILS runway 30 center into Mesa Gateway Airport in Phoenix, Arizona. Here is the FAA chart, and here is the Jeppesen chart. Now let's zoom in, and I'm going to ask you something. Looking at the FAA chart on the left, you tell me how many initial approach fixes and feeder slant transition routes are there? Looking at the Jeppesen chart on the right, it's much easier to see that there are 2 initial approach fixes and 4 feeder routes. One each from Phoenix, Willie, Stanfield, and the Tucson VOR. In my opinion, that ease of use or clarity adds a lot of value and safety to my instrument flying. But I want you to see another example. Here we have the minimums from the FAA chart on the left and the minimums from the Jeppesen chart on the right. Now, let's say you're shooting an approach late at night and you're unable to get the local altimeter setting. Quick! What is the decision altitude when using the Phoenix Sky Harbor altimeter setting? On the JEP chart, it's pre-calculated for you. But on the FAA chart, you're going to have to be diligent enough to have read this note, and then you have to do the math to calculate a new DA. Now, you know what we say, never do math in the cockpit. So as I said before, I believe JEP charts add value in safety, and that's the reason I prefer to fly with them. But it's a personal choice, and you might prefer FAA plates. In this course, we will show you how to effectively use both kinds of approach plates. Now, if you are using FAA charts in your iPad application, I have an advisory for you. Make sure you are able to access the Digital Terminal Procedures Supplement. It contains additional information that may be needed for you to be able to shoot an approach. For example, what is your target vertical speed to descend down a 3-degree glide slope? Or how do you adjust the minimums if the approach lighting system is out of service? Here's how you would access the Terminal Procedure Supplement in ForeFlight. The Documents tab lets you download additional FAA documents for access in flight. If you tap on the catalog, you can see the list of documents available for download, and at the top of the list is the Digital Terminal Procedure Supplement. That green check mark indicates that it's downloaded and current. You can then tap on that document to bring it up. The Terminal Procedure Supplement contains all kinds of useful information. On the second page, you can find the Inoperative Components table. This is where you can see if the approach lights are out of service on an ILS, you're going to need to bump up your visibility 1/4 mile. Following page 2 are a number of informational pages. A really useful one to remember is the last page, which is the climb descent table. Here, we can see if our ground speed on a 3-degree ILS is 90 knots, our target rate of descent will be 478 feet per minute. So once you decide on which approach plates you'll be using and which apps you'll use to view them, it's critically important that you organize your approach plates so that you can access them easily and quickly while in flight. Check out our approach plates segment in our iPad in-flight course to learn how to recreate an approach clip or a chart organizer on your iPad.